Right, good evening everybody. See if we have sound.
Right, good evening everybody.
We do. It's been delegated to me to make an attempt at running the net, so good evening to you all. Thanks first of all to Justin for lending me the streaming box, which seems to be working very well. Please press record, Justin, if you haven't already. And we've got a few less on, obviously, because three of the stalwarts are elsewhere. Colin, I'll add you onto the end. I think that's okay. And if Benno is ready to go, we'll start off with PA3 FBX. I saw you testing what looked like easy DATV on 2.10 earlier. I'll be very interested how to make it work on very low symbol rates, but more of that on the next over. So PA3 FBX to take it from G4XAT in the Thursday evening BATC net. Over.
Yeah, evening all. Let's see if I hear myself. Yes. Let's mute that and put a camera on so you guys can see me as well. Okay. Gareth, thank you for leading the net. Great signal, no problem in copying you. I'm testing a mini tuner, a French mini tuner S, which is lying next to me, which does something peculiar, strange. I'm not sure if anyone seen it. Using it on the mini tuner software itself for ease of use. It works pretty much good, but the mare keeps bouncing up and down. And I'm not sure why. It's not tremendous. My signal is on my dish should be around 8.3, 8.4 at the moment. Not too strong, by the way, but should be okay. Actually, it's also received on that mini tuner with 8.3, 8.2, so not a big problem. But occasionally, every few seconds, it bounces up to 10, 11, and then quickly goes back. Also, the D goes up and quickly goes back. And my signal is never stable. And also, I noticed, but that could be the mini tuner itself, my video is not stable. It is stopping. It makes steps. I'm not sure if that is the cause of this mini tuner, but apparently, like I said, the most peculiar part is that the mare is bouncing 2-3 points up and then down quickly again to 8.23, what it should be. It's never real stable like it is on basically all my other stations, bouncing 0.1 or 0.2 up or down, but that's not a dramatic up and down. Okay, well, that's basically the question for me today. Played with ports down over the last few days with DVB-T on the local terrestrial repeater, which works marvelous. And I found that every time I want to go back from DVB-T, by the way, the ports down, it's ports down 4, completely updated up to the latest version. And but every time I want to go back or front from DVB-T to DVB-S or anything else, I need to go to into the menu and reboot the Pluto manually, which is connected via USB. And I wonder if everyone has seen that problem as well. Well, 2 questions actually for the BATC net. Hey, that's great. Running the ATV Easy 2.10 at the moment here. 2.11 is coming out for the beta within soon. And running fine with all kind of settings. Running on F5OEO 0201 firmware. And I need to correct something. My fan kicked in and there was a cable making a lot of noise there. Actually, 2.10 running at the moment, which is beta testing. 2.08 is free and available. And, well, it should work. If it doesn't work, we are really anxious to know why. And if you need help, I'm glad to give anyone who is asking. Well, that's basically all. I'm not playing with OBS 28 because I didn't get that part working the last 2 times I tried. So I'm still working on 27.x, 20.24 something OBS, because I don't want to bother about virtual cam, virtual audio cabling, Droid cam and things like that. Well, anyway, Chris, also a very nice evening. Who do I pass the microphone to? The to G8 KOE. Actually, Martin, I was trying to give you an answer on your network problem. You should watch the wiki of analog devices. I will actually put it in the forum next over. I tried it, but I forgot to log in, and then I had to retype everything. And I said, well, maybe later. Hi. Golf 8 Kilo Oscar Echo. Prepare your frequency. This is PA3 Foxtrot Bravo X-ray, and greetings you all.
Well, it helps if you turn the microphone on if you want to have sound, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. Oh dear, all right, let's mute the sound. Yeah, fine there, Benno. I've overcome my networky sort of problems. Oh dear. With, so I've got some assistance in here, which I think I posted up there, but if I didn't, let's go to the other camera, not that one. I want, you know what, I can't think that's that one. What have I got that one on for? I want the little Rovi cam. That's it. Oh, that's it there. I've added that little USB hub, and that cured all my problems. She's sitting on the network, and that's what I'm using at the moment. And version 33, I think, was the firmware I've got in the Pluto, which is sitting there. I found 32 didn't give us much output. 33 seemed more sort of stable. I've been trying all sorts of different things, and that's obviously running on. There she goes. So that's one of the things we've been up to. The other things, I've resurrected the Polycoms, which one there and one over there, and this little beastie that's here, and I've added a laptop over here, which is now I wanted to be able to sort of wander around and link things up, which I can do now with let's change over to so that's the camera on the laptop, so it's on the network, so I can wander around the house and do things from different rooms. So that's what I've been up to. That I must admit, it took me a little bit of time to get things working 100%, but it's on using NDI, which to stream it, which I find works exceedingly well. Seems to be the best way of doing it. The other thing I was playing with, I had one of the other Plutos. It lost any connection to the USB port side of things, and a friend I sent it to hashed it with JTAG, which got into DFU mode, but still nothing on the USB side of things. So I took sort of courage and thought we'd attempt to replace the USB chip as a gamble. Ordered one which came from China. Whether it was, it said it was the right words on the outside, but whether it is or isn't is another thing. And it is rather small, but the good news is I attempted to replace it, which is can we find a picture? That's it. That's the chip capacitor 164, whatever it was, which is a decoupling point 1. That disappeared, but wasn't important. But the bad news is it made no difference whatsoever. Whether I got the chip in 100%, I must admit I had a lot of problems. Didn't find it easy, but we persevered with it. And there's the Polycom camera, one of them, which is a go. Oh, the cats have disappeared. Well, I've got one cat locally, which I can't get the Polycom to, but I could get the other camera to, just to show that the why did I click on the wrong things? Helps if you open the camera up. I'd closed it down. There's Ruby. That's sits underneath where the computers are, and I think the other one's eating the. And there's Boris over there. Anyway, that's a lot of waffle from me. I've probably missed loads of things, but would have attempted to use the roving camera and get Boris, which is just to prove how a bit green, but there he is. Oh, he's going to move now, is he? Yeah, I could do some more light. Anyway, he's gone into the dark, unfortunately. Anyway, I'll probably leave that as my waffle for now. Probably missed some things. And yeah, thanks Gareth for doing the net, and Benno for the lecture. The other was good, and DATV easy. I must admit, I'm getting to quite like it. The only thing I do find occasionally, I've got the offset. I think, well, I don't know how close it is at the moment, but it's plus 400. But sometimes when I boot it up, it goes completely the other way. But if I then close down OBS and DATV easy and reboot them, it usually comes back to where it was at plus 400. That's my findings. It's only sort of oddity that I get, but it's probably my system. Right. I think it's the other Martin, isn't it, if I remember rightly? So I won't bother with... oh, yeah, I could put up a test card, couldn't I? So let's see. That's fine. Are you ready there, Martin? G4FKK. God, I haven't seen him for ages. Perhaps I should get a QSL card whilst I can. 73's G.
Okay, Martin. G8KOE. and the net G4FKK this evening, everyone. Let's just see if I've got some noises coming. It's a long time since I've used all this kit, so apologies for my long absence from the net. Back in September, someone from my previous employer said, "How do you fancy 2 or 3 weeks work in September in Birmingham?" So I said, all right, and I'm still there effectively. I would be there this week, other than the fact I had a stinking cold over the weekend, which didn't seem to get much better in the week, but I'm getting a bit better now. But it does mean I'm not in Birmingham or Manchester, which is the other place they've been sending me this week. So I thought, I'll dust off the DATV gear. Anyway, thanks Gareth for running the net. It's good fun, but I always find the most difficult bit is keeping that list up to date, which I see has changed a couple of times. I don't think I've ever seen. Have I seen Ashley on the net before? But gather you're just watching this evening, Ashley. Anyway, terrific picture from you, Gareth. I think that's the best picture I've seen from you, and excellent from you as usual, Benno. I've fired up the ports down here because I was going to cheerfully say no, I've not had that problem on the latest firmware. I have got the latest firmware installed on the ports down, but then I realised what you'd said, which was changing from one mode to another and having to reboot the Pluto. So I've not actually tried that yet, but I might give that a whirl later and report back to you. Yeah, I'm still running an old version of OBS. It seems to work, so I'm not going to change it yet. I'm still also using the old, the pre-DATV Easy. So I can't remember what it was called now, but that works as well. So I'll leave it like that. Martin, good to see you on the net. And Boris and Ruby, they've got a lot bigger than I remember them from the last time I saw them on the satellite. And your picture's terrific too, so excellent. And I like all your multi cameras. I was also very impressed with your soldering of that tiny chip, Martin. I don't know if you've got something similar. What you need is one of these. Let's see if I can get it in shot. This is a fairly recent acquisition in the shack. I actually got it for, as you can see, it's fully articulated, but I'm not very good at driving it. There you go. I got it for the watchmaking, but I have actually used it for a bit of electronic work as well. So anyway, you look like you've done a pretty good job on that to me, Martin. I mean, it's difficult to tell, isn't it? But so possibly it wasn't that was at fault. NDI, that's an interesting thing, Martin. The project I'm working on for the BBC is building some new studios in Birmingham and Salford, in their broadcast centres in those places. And because they're radio studios, they all have to have hundreds of cameras in them, all connected to the internet. And I was intrigued to find out that we're using NDI as the network for that, and vMix. So I was able to help a bit on the video front, which is not what I was hired for. Right, okay, that's probably enough waffle from me. Let's see if John had to go make a phone call, but hopefully John's back. And who else have we got on tonight? We can look forward to John, Colin, Dave and Keith as well. So I shall cut it short now. I think I'll put a test card on as well, Martin. So round to you, John. G7JTT to take it. If you're there, G4 Fox King and the net standing by.
Okay, had a little pause there, but I think John's still on the phone actually. So I'll grab it just in case. Right, there we go. Right. Anyway, very good evening. Yeah, John, I think they pop John on the end there, more or less, just give him a bit more time. That's obviously important phone call. So there we are. Right, okay then. Thanks to Gareth for running the net, doing an excellent job. It's nice to have the list or the order updated frequently. That's really quite helpful. I didn't answer anything on there, because as soon as I answer something, then it stops scrolling. So at the minute it's auto scrolling, and it's like, oh, this is cool, I'll just leave it then. Just leave it, and then I don't have to touch it. I've just run out of desk space on the Windows. That's the trouble. Okay, yeah. Apologies to Benno. I didn't realise when you put your signal up, I didn't put the call sign and the name together. So apologies for that. And I see you were on your SQ as well after the event. I saw that when you posted. You were observing. So yeah, sorry. I thought, oh, some other stations got on there, but it was just Benno testing. So. Oh dear, dear. Anyway, apologies for that. Yeah, the Pluto rebooting, Benno, that's a known issue, or you have to reboot it when changing from DVB-S to DVB-T. That is an unfortunate thing. Dave's looking at it, as Gareth mentioned, but at the minute that would be considered normal operation. It's inconvenient, but that's the way it is. At this particular juncture, so but as long as you know that, it's not too bad. So it's worth mentioning it for others, really. So that's pretty good. Your Mini Tuner S problem, I haven't experienced. I've actually got 4 Mini Tuner S's actually, and I like to use them for various things, but. Yeah, no, I haven't observed that, so it could be a DATV Easy related thing, maybe. I know if you look at DATV Easy with, you know, people say, oh, the nulls are all wrong and all that. It's just that it's done a different way, and so they are absolutely fine. But when you look at some software, it looks like something's wrong when it's not. It's just done a different way. But whether that's affecting the receiver, I don't know, but there we go. So, but I haven't observed that, but I couldn't get one on quick enough to see if I was seeing it on my Mini Tuner, the Mini Tuner S. I'm pleased actually that you said you were that you hadn't updated OBS, because I haven't updated OBS either. I'd considered going the other bit, but I'm a bit nervous, not so about the Droid Cam so much, but more the virtual audio cable. When I run virtual audio cables, which I do from time to time for various equipment, I always get into trouble. Usually you can get that bit working, but when you try to do something else, or there's a Windows update, it messes with all the settings, and every time a Windows update, it's just you have to wrestle with it. So I would prefer not to have virtual audio cable if I could avoid it. So I still run the old OBS at the minute on there. Interesting. Martin mentioned about the lip sync issue, because I've spent ages setting up the lip sync for Cure100 using DATV Easy, an earlier version, 08 I think. And got it dialed in pretty well with the help of G4EWJ, who was monitoring the signal as I was, and we dialed it in pretty good. But then I come to use it, and I was about a whole second out. So interesting that the rebooting of both put it back again, because I'll look into that. But Benno's lip sync was spot on. I didn't see any issue at all. So that looked perfect. There was nothing wrong with it at all. Absolutely spot on. So that's my only thing with the ATV Easy. I quite like it, and I was prompted after Benno's presentation to have another crack at it, and I thought I'd got it sort of dialed in, but I say I came to use it and it was wrong again. So, but yeah, but it's still a work in progress. I think there's several versions past the one I've been using. So excellent work. Dominic's doing a fantastic job there, really. yeah, we need those sorts of people, don't we? Really, doing all that. It's very clever, and it will make people's life easier. At the minute, I have to have several things going all at once, whereas if I run DATV Easy, there's a lot less to do. Yeah, it works pretty well. So that's good. Oh, here we are. Let's have a look. To see he's answering me on there. So let's have a look. Da-da. Right. Oh, okay. Not easy related with the Mini Tuner S. Okay, I haven't observed that, so I'm not sure. I mean, you've obviously tried different USB cables, but that's the sort of, because that's how it sort of works. But it's probably not that. But usually is, isn't it? Nearly always a USB cable. But there we are. Right, lip sync issue is the virtual plugin on OBS not being stable. Right, oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. Right, oh, thank you, Benno. Okay, I'll retry some of that then. Thank you for that information. That's very helpful, actually. Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, because people who have upgraded using a different method find that it's okay. Okay, yeah, that all makes perfect sense to me now. Yeah, very good. Oh, well, that's been very useful this evening. I'm glad I came on there. That's very good. And what else have I got on my list? Oh, yeah, Martin was a good picture I wrote down. That was that was it. Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, that probably applied to both of them, really. But yeah, obviously the cat cam was not. Obviously they've gone into the dark, haven't they? But their main camera is very impressive, I have to say. Very good, excellent. That's probably about it. For here. I'll only come on the once today because I've got to scoot off to work very soon. So this will be the one and only appearance. So I didn't mind extending it a tiny bit. So very good. Right, okay then. That's probably enough from me. But all good stuff so far. So now we're over to M5TXJ. Oh, hang on. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, thanks, Gareth. Yeah, you've upgraded it again. Yeah, it's really helpful for the controllers to put it up quite frequently, because otherwise it scrolls out of the way. It hasn't been too bad today. Hasn't been so much traffic actually, but still very good. So excellent job, Gareth. Yeah, dear, oh dear. It's not easy. It's not easy running a net. There's a lot more to it than people actually realise. So many things to manage, particularly if you're doing the streaming as well. It's quite a high workload, really. So very well done for being volunteered. Right, okay then. M5TXJ to take it. G4KLB.
Things. So listening to Benno, that gives me an excuse to have a go at, let me get rid of that, at upgrading to OBS 28. I, like Colin, have been a little nervous, shall we say, of going to Droid Cam and virtual audio cable and everything like that. I'm still very, very new at this DATV lark, but we'll have to give it a go. I want to go on to Easy DATV to go to H.265 as well. I've had the idea of putting a USB loop through on the front of my ports down. I'm using ports down 4, as some of you know, so that I can sort of break the USB connection between the Pi and the Pluto and feed the Pluto direct from the PC. So I can use DATV like that, but still maintain the USB in the Pluto, into the Pluto from the Pi for use with Blankstone. I hope that makes sense. I'm not the best at explaining what I want to do. So that's something I'm looking at. I've built one of Mike's transverters, but for some reason it doesn't work. I think that the PGA 103 Plus, that's the local oscillator amp, is dead. I need to take that to bits and investigate. But things have been a bit chaotic. Been looking after grandkids and things. And I'd like to be on the worldwide net on Sunday, but I'll probably be just marching down Whitehall at the time. I'm going down to London on Saturday to march past the Cenotaph on Sunday. I may be seen on broadcast TV. Wouldn't be the first time. And if I spot Sophie Rainsworth, I'll be photobombing her as I usually do. I get on quite well with Sophie now. I've photobombed her while doing interviews several times. So that's about it from me. Oh no, not quite. I spotted something on Twitter about a contest group that were out for an RTTY contest this weekend, and they were going to be using one of these. And I thought, oh, I've got one of them tucked away, so I might just have to get it out and have a play with it. And yeah, I've never even done anything with it. I had it given, and I powered it up to see the CRT light, and that's as much as I've done. So we'll have to have a play at some point. Right, I shall pass it round to Keith. GU6 Echo Foxtrot Bravo in the group. Oh yeah, thanks to Gareth as well. You're doing a good job there. M5 TXJ.
Good evening all. Yeah, we've got some audio, so that's going fine. Okay, thanks there Dave. G5 TXG all copied. Thanks there Gareth for running the net. Doing a great job there. I run various nets and not on TV, but I know all the workload involved. It can get quite hectic at times. Oh, busy at work as normal, playing with OBS 208, and I can't make it work. There's got to be a trick to it which I've missed, but I can't get any transport stream out of it that wants to work with DATV Easy, the latest version. Tried with the ports down as well. No, it doesn't want to work, so back on the old version. So that's working okay, and I don't think the lip sync's too bad either. I've got so much leave left. I now only work 4 days a week. I take every Monday off, so and I've still got a week's leave to take. So yeah, I'll be playing in the shack on Monday. trying to get my 10-meter DATV system fully functional. Received a signal, okay, not very strong, but I think it might have been Rob DTS on 10 meters the other day. So there is activity out there, so it's worth getting the 10-meter gear going. Mike's little transverter works well, and I can get about 60 or 70 watts of cleanish DATV out on 10 meters, so looking forward to playing with that. RTTY, yeah, we had a play in a contest the other week, which was a bit of fun. I hadn't played RTTY for ages, but we use N1MM, sorry, and using all software, modems, etc. But it works well. Son-in-law's been busy getting his big CNC machine and CNC lathe installed. It arrived on the boat early hours the other morning, so yeah, looking forward to Monday afternoon to going and have a good play with that. See how it all works. Got a fair amount of things lined up, so it's going to be busy. Yeah, not much else to add from here at the moment, so pass it around to John there. Trust all's well with you there, John. G7JTT and the group, round to you there, John, from GU6EFB.
Right, slight change of plan. As you see on the chat, John's on the phone still. Come on, let's have some video. Come on. No, it's not locked on my local, but it has locked on the stream. Right, I'll assume it's functional. Yeah, as you say, it's a right old bit of jiggling going on. I've got a laptop over there, which I've stopped streaming on because that was working fine. I've got my station monitor over there, the web chat here, a VLC on the streamer on that monitor, the quick tune up there, the Pluto controller there, OBS there, a window with the call signs in there, and free stream coder there. Anyway, G4X80 waffling as usual. Right, 10 meters. Well, yeah, thanks to Mike sending me a transverter board. He populated it as well, so all I had to do was box it. I'm well chuffed with that, and I'll just show you a picture. Right, that's my signal on the Pennsylvania SDR. That's 125 kilosymbols. I can't go narrower than that for some reason. I don't understand FFmpeg, though I'm working on that. And B, my DATV Easy on my laptop, which has got the Intel encoding, it won't go lower than 66. If you try and go lower, it says the video stream's not wide enough, but I thought it set all that itself. The PA I'm using, actually, I'll show you a circuit of that. Here we go. Zoom that down a bit and then scan across to it. There we are. That's the circuit. It uses an MRF 101 AN, which is a 100 watt 50 volt device, part of the NXP nice new family. And they ran a competition a few years ago when they launched the part, and the winner is this little beauty. It's a 50 by 50 PCB. Come on, focus, you swine. Tell you what, let's just try a different camera, which will focus. No, it won't. Wrong camera again. Oh, I know, I've unplugged that camera. That's what went bing bong. Anyway, it's slightly double-sided. There is a bit on the back of the board, notably a temperature sensing diode. And then you can see the TO220 device under there. And then there's a PC fan on the back. And that little beastie, that'll run 75 watts. And I was sending that down the garden to my slim gym. And that's what I saw. This was yesterday afternoon. I'm going to check I've not done anything catastrophic on this route. That's okay. So the design, I've got a few spare PCBs if anybody's desperate for that. But the actual, no, I can't. No, if anybody wants it, I'll post it later. Okay. What I did do was I found this filter design because it's got plenty of, shall we say, little friends up the band, and this does a very nice job. If I can scroll down on that, let me show you the graph. It's not my work. I just did a Google search for 10 meter low pass filter, and the idea is it's all going to fit inside a nice little die-cast box like that, with the fan on the back, the PC board inside, the filter up the other end, and there you go. It does 50 meg as well. It's not quite so powerful on 50 meg. Okay, let me go down the list. Right, I've thanked Justin. Thank you all for your kind words, by the way. But I'm using so much of other people's stuff, like QuickTune and the encoder and so on and so on. So I'm very grateful to you all. Don't forget the activity weekend. That's this weekend. There's quite well, some of us going out on Saturday. It seems to be the best day, best weather down the south end of the country anyway. Rob's going out on the Saturday in the North York Moors somewhere, and I believe Noel may be going to Walbury Hill. I'll be going to Woldingham with the big amp and the generator, which I was playing with today, trying different power supplies, and some of them, noticeably the switch mode ones, they really don't like generators, not with big loads. Rightio, Keith, I'll put you down for one. I'll send a link. I'll pop it up on this feed once I stop waffling. Another thing arrived today, another Neo 7 GPS, courtesy of Hermes, as in the doorbell wasn't rung, but I got an email ping saying your package has been delivered, and what was there? The package and a sorry we missed you card from Hermes. So I guess that's what they were doing. Lob it through the door and along with a card, save pushing the bell and waiting for somebody to come and agree the parcel's been delivered. Okay, so that covers the activity weekend. And the only real query is how to get BATC easy to run 20 kilo symbols or less on DVB-S. And the best thing about that SDR, of course, is if you've got 10 FM as well, you can just pop up on the same frequency. And I was at 5.9 plus on 10 FM 100 watts. So obviously that's like 5 kilohertz wide rather than whatever I was sending, about 80 kilohertz wide. But as Rob posted, there's some very interesting frequency selective fading. But it's a growth area, and we might get some continental skip as well. Very often get very strong Europeans, and in fact I put a call out on 29.6 and worked a Greek station straight off the bat. So I think if we can get it narrow enough, which will help get over the multi-pathing and so on, I think we're on with a good one. Yes, Colin, okay, one for you as well. I've got a few. I think I bought a pack of 10. You can buy the whole lot actually. from a company called Dirty PCB. And they're about $22 for 10. And I was a bit cautious about paying them money, but they turned up and they're nice quality. Okay, that's enough waffle. So round to you, Benno. PA3. FBX to take it from G4.
Yeah, well, let's see if I have a little bit of audio. I don't hear myself. Why not? Probably my own problem. Let's see, do I have a camera? Should have. Found it. Okay, great net. Thank you, Gareth, for leading the net, as Benny already told you before. Well, anyway, a lot of nice things on the net. I actually get my PCBs from which Mike built, or how should I say that, developed. I will get those for the transverter somewhere next week. I actually got a message from Germany that it's received in Germany. Why? But that's probably the European collection part of DHL. Anyway, somewhere next week I expect them. And we also gathered the parts where I am still wondering. I work together with another local guy, Bert, who and we want to make a few of them. Actually, I'm thinking about making a duplex, full duplex, 10 meter and 6 meter one, but Mike said don't, because I will get a lot of problems of oscillating probably the guile. Anyway, no, not Bert Motherman, other Bert PE2 TV. For the amplifier I also need, I'm shooting a little bit more, because if you say 75 watts, that's probably not the DVBs, because you don't want to push them too hard. So I'm thinking about 200-300 watts, which should then easily give a nice decent picture of 100 watt on DVB. So anyway, but I will follow that one also, and I think I'm still convinced 10 meters shouldn't be too much problem. Even on eBay, lots and lots of boards are available for 10 meters. But that is the next step. First step is making the first part, and that will probably is a nice winter project, because before I get it ready, the conditions are already gone for this year, and well, next year is a new chance, I believe. Well, that's all. One thing I had to show you, a small project I bought this week. Well, I finished this week. I got this from the local exhibition last week, and that's this box, and I'm still wondering what it does. It's really useless in my eye, because it's not doing much. It's if I flip the switch, you just flip it back, and it really does not much. That's all. So that's one thing I made, at least A lot of people in my neighborhood got some laughs about it, and well, that's a nice project, which is nice for the Christmas table. That's all. See if I have a test card, and I pass the microphone on to John if he has finished the telephone. Golf 7 JTT PA3 Foxtrot Bravo X-ray.
Right, let's just get rid of this audio. Hey, very good, you know. Apologies for that. My answers rang me. The usual sort of check-up calls, etc. Right, let's get the 80 metre stuff out of the way. Things are good. I did spend a few nights in hospital last week, or this week, wherever it was. My infection levels got up very high, and I had to go and have some intravenous antibiotics and other bits and pieces. But anyway, feeling really good at the moment. But as a result of that, I've been given the task now of getting fit again, and I thought I've had to start exercising, which is against my religion. It really is. As much as I walked as a postman, that's all I did. I refused to wear lycra, and I've refused to go anywhere near a gym. So I had to go down into the garage and dig out the rowing machine that was down there. And it has been down there since we moved here, which was 7 odd years ago, and probably never been used 3 or 4 years before that either. So we spent all day yesterday cleaning it, but unfortunately somebody left the batteries in the little computer bit of it, and yeah, it's completely rotted the PCB away. So I'm going to hopefully have a go at doing some Arduino code, and it's only a simple thing. It's only got 2 reed switches on there. One's attached to the seat to show repetitions, and one's attached to the fan to show speed. So it should be relatively easy, says he. But anyway, we shall see. So I've missed most of the net, unfortunately, other than that fantastic project box there, Benno. Yeah, they're quite clever, those. They often have similar ones where it grabs the money. I think you can get ones that have got like skeleton hands or various other hands that come out, and you put the money on there, and I guess the money must make a switch, whichever, and it comes out and it just floors the money and drags it back in again. So yeah, they're quite clever, and as you say, they're probably quite a nice table thing for Christmas and so on. Which looks as if I'm going to begin Christmas in hospital anyway, so that'll be a different thing. So anyway, that's that. What else have I done? I don't think anything else really. As I say, got the rowing machine out, and I'm just going to have a go at writing some code for it, but in between exercising, of course. So we shall see. Okay, right, with that, enough waffle, round to mine. G8 KOE, Golf 7, Juliet Tango Tango. Cheers all.
Right, let's see that we got that. Listen to some, yep. Let's mute myself. Yeah, good to see you there, John. I did see the pictures you did from the hospital bed. That was, they were very good indeed. And let's show pictures of me. Yeah, I've missed you not being around. Always lots of questions. I always feel like could do with asking with bits of code, etc. But yeah, the LF side of things I've not done a great deal with, but still playing with SDR Play, etc., and looking around there. But yeah, sorry if it, yeah, I think you said you were going to be in hospital at Christmas. It's just all the nurses you're after, that's what it is. As for exercise, yeah, I could do with exercise. It's putting on weight. It's terrible. When you retire, you sort of think, oh, just the kitchen's too nearby, and so you can wander by and just have things. Right, NDI. I was interested in what the other Martin sort of said there. Yeah, I use NDI a lot. It's like I've got it running now, so as one can show the other screen of, well, I've got two monitors on for that one. One thing I've put it up for is that the chat side of things, I haven't found a way to make it auto scroll unless anybody else has, but a cheat on it is this little plugin, which is a Microsoft one, which does a refresh. You can stop it, you can start it, you can whatever, and that's obviously set to do a refresh every 10 seconds. So we actually managed to get around things that way. So that's about the only sort of a little thing. And the obviously the Windhill is working and working well. Got that working there. I've got a mini tuner which is on the other screen. Well, we could whip over to the other screen. He says, trying to show off. This is where it all falls over. So the mini tuner's there. Looking at the input. So I sort of checked before we actually transmit that signals are actually going out. And also the long wind client, which is over what we go to that one. It's sitting there, so that's a long wind client. So that is now was it multicast? So we can actually get it on all of the beasties. This is where it's not going to work, isn't it? It says hopefully. But, come on. Oh, I've shrunk it down. I forgot earlier I had it small. But there we go. So I can then run it on all the computers. It seems to work out very well. I had trouble until I ticked the wrong box, or hadn't ticked the wrong box, or didn't fully understand things. What Benno sort of pointed out when I was asking for help, but that works exceedingly well. Let's go back to me. I'm waffling too much tonight. Let's kill that computer over here. There's too many things to play with, but I'm pleased with the laptop. Must have spent a bit of money on it, and it's got one of those super fantastic graphics cards in. So the idea was to be able to do all sorts of things with it in the future. Yeah, fine on the HF stuff and the bits and pieces. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to get around and do something there. I won't take one of your boards because it'd be cruel if I don't use it. So if I get around to a stage where I can, I've got the ready-made little unit, and I can't remember what it's called now. Which I got when I had the SDR to do the HF thing, so I think you can use that to transmit through and receive. So I'm probably halfway there. I think that's probably more than enough waffle for me. And for lip sync, these are great because they cure that. You don't get any problems with lip sync when you've got one of these microphones. So that's another way of overcoming the problem. I don't know how good the lip sync is. One, probably terrible. But anyway, right. Who's next? Oh, it's FKK, isn't it? It's the other Martin. Oh, I know what other thing I was going to ask him. Being he's a BBC man, with the BBC that did this nice news studio of an evening that everybody stands up in front of these big screens and look like matchstick men's, and you can't, or women, and you can't see them very well. Whose brilliant idea was that? It just seems absolutely terrible and a waste of money. But on that note, actually there, Martin. Up a test card and disappear from G8.
Yeah, okay, Martin. G4FKK. Oh, is my lip sync out as well? Let's have a look. Oh, it looks all right this end. So apologies if it's not so good. Yeah, I can't answer that last question of yours, Martin. I'm strictly radio, professionally, as it were. Although, so I was helping out with the multiplicity of beautiful cameras, actually. They've got bird dog cameras there, which are capable of 4K. And they've got 6 of them in this very small studio. I think I had some pictures of it last week. Oh, no, last time I was on. Let's have a quick look. Can you see any there? There's this is some of the old codgers they've brought out of retirement, me included. And oh yeah, this is before the cameras were installed, but there's 3 of the bird dog cameras there, and extensive lighting, all in a radio studio. So it's a rum-do, in my opinion. Anyway, I was able to help with that a bit, but it's not really my thing. I don't know why they do a lot of things they do, Martin, these days. Anyway, enough of that. Colin, good to see you on. Cracking picture as usual. Perfect lip sync. And I know what you mean about Windows updates. In fact, my main computer here is all primed with a yellow dot, ready to ruin all my settings later when I switch it off. So they got 6 cameras. So I just noticed the chat. Yeah, 6 cameras they got in that little tiny studio, radio studio. Just quick good evening to Nigel 2E0EHH, who's watching. His dish has moved in the recent winds, I guess, as has mine actually. My dish has moved very slightly, so I've lost 2 dB on the beacon, so I need to tweak that with one of Tom's gadgets. And also Justin, good evening to you, Justin. Thought very glamorous picture in Radcom, I thought, this month. So and well done for taking the drains up on Bletchley Park there. That's marvellous work. Dave, nice to see you on. Sorry about the tendinitis. And talking of Tom, ZR6TG, he's got one of those telereaders I noticed the other day. So you can exchange tales with him and maybe do some RTTY on the satellite. Keith, you see, that's a useful son-in-law, isn't it, with a big CNC machine. My prospective son-in-law is not quite that useful. On the other hand, he does run a pub, so there are benefits there, obviously. And Gareth, yeah, 10 meters. I've been listening to that for the last couple of days while I've been suffering here. And was it yesterday morning? I think there was ZLs coming through in the morning. The usual Russians, you know, it was just like the old days. Russians for breakfast, and then East Coast Americans for lunch, and then drifting round to the West Coast and South America later on in the afternoon. So it was very exciting. And the repeater in New York, the FM repeater, was absolutely romping in. So I suspect there is a future for narrowband DATV. And I've been watching what Charles has been saying on the chat, so that looks very interesting as well, Charles. Yeah, the Moscow repeater was coming through as well, Justin, as you say. You've done well on your 10 meters already, Gareth. I've got one of the transverters built with a small amplifier that I can drive my old valve amplifier. So maybe I've got another week in Manchester next week, and then I may have finished with my project. So maybe I'd play on 10 meters. And I noticed the filter was designed by PA0FRI. I remember his series on Phrynia linears in Technical Topics years ago in Radcom. And as you say, don't forget the activity weekend, anyone who's able to do that. I wonder, Benno, is your picture mirrored? The text on your T-shirt is, and you seem to have got a wedding ring on your right hand. Will I be at Cat 43 rally? I hope so. Oh, Cats? Do you mean the Cats rally, Roger? Roger HKN. I'm hoping to get there. I'm going to try and see if I can help them set it all up as well. What else we got here? Benno, so mirrored. I wonder if your picture is mirrored. And that box is fabulous. I want one immediately. It's the absolute definition of useless, which is something I've been looking for very long. It's very hard to find anything useless if you think about it. John, sorry to hear you've been in hospital. That's most poor. A lot of my friends of my age, ancient age, are starting all this running and jumping about and rowing and all the rest of it. So I'm afraid I've set myself up as a control group. So I'll probably go first, but my knees will be in wonderful condition. Sorry to hear you got to spend Christmas in hospital as well. That's most poor. Maybe we can, hopefully you'll have some TV gear or something. Martin, well done, by the way, Martin, on getting the Longmin multicast. I still haven't got that working. I think my network is deliberately not letting me do any multicasting of any sort, so I need to delve into that when I've got more time. The new laptop sounds good, and I like your lip sync cure. Perfect. I've got a similar one here, so if I do that cures any lip sync problems. Right, enough of that. I shall put it back round to the next station, who, looks like that's scrolled off. It is Dave, so round to you, Dave, and I'll say good night to everybody. And I won't be on next week, I suspect, but hopefully after that a bit more regularly. M5TXJ to take it with the BATC Synet, G4FKK signing off. See you all later. Bye.
Right, here we go, hopefully. And have we got sound again? Yeah, I think I heard something there. Yeah, good evening once again. Bye, Martin. And yes, enjoy work. Back from retirement. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to retirement. You're talking about things totally useless, just about sums of power management at the moment. Yeah, it's all down to management that we're on strike more than pay, although things seem to be moving in the right direction, fortunately. Yeah, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, HF. HF. What have I got for HF for amplification? Well, this. He says, if we can see this, and I don't know if any of you are familiar with these, but if I zoom in on the meter, not very clear, you will notice the voltage goes up to 3000, whereas standard it goes up to 1500. And that's because it's been modified to use one of the Russian GI7 BT valves, and it produces quite a lot of power for not a lot of drive. HT runs at about 2.5 kV, and when Ofcom were around testing for TVI at the last QTH, they ran it up to full power, which was just over 800 watts. So I'm not sure what it will give for DATV, but I can always turn the bias up a little bit, and even if it gives 50 watts, that'll be fun to play with. Not much else to report. Networking, yeah, I've had enough of networking this week. Had a MikroTik switch in the shack. The router in the house feeds a switch, which one part of the switch goes to behind the TV for the smart TV and my ride, and the other one comes from the switch into another switch in the shack, which feeds the ports down and the PC and Winter Hill, and all was working fine. And I got a Cisco router, a switch with Wi-Fi, and I installed that, and it blocked everything and changed IP settings, and even though you turned firewalls off, it turned them back on again itself and everything. So it's been resigned, and we've gone back to the MikroTik. So fingers crossed, all will be good again, even though I don't have any Wi-Fi in the shack. And yeah, sorry to hear about going back to hospital, John. But yeah, just take care. And those infection scores. Our grandson is 4 months now, but he was 2 weeks old. He went in with sepsis, and his infection score was 100 for 2 days, and they were literally just pumping him with antibiotics, but he's okay now. Right, I say 73 all, and it's good to catch up. Take care, everybody, and I should be on next week. And hopefully, Martin, I will have had a delivery. If you got that email from Noel, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I might have something to show. Right, round to Keith again. GU6EFB on the BATC net. This is M5TXJ. 73 all.
Let's find a picture. There we go. Got a camera. Yeah, okay. All very interesting. Yeah, thanks for that, Gareth, about the PCB. Yeah, just let me know details and we'll get funds to you, etc. Just been looking at that website link that you gave, and yeah, quite interesting. I'll follow that up after the net and yeah, see exactly what it's up to. It looks quite interesting. People were mentioning deliveries. Yeah, don't mention to me about the yellow vehicles with a D, an H and an L. Others are available. We had a delivery and it never turned up. We phoned them. They didn't know what had happened. Couldn't track it. And then they phoned to say they'd found our parcel, and we were, oh great, they've destroyed it, and they can't tell us why. So all kinds of shenanigans going on there. For you, Martin, nice to see you. Pleased you're not feeling too great. Hope that cold goes shortly. But for you, that is the CNC machine. So yeah, keen to get my sticky mitts on it. And there's also a big CNC lathe to go with it. So we're not talking about toys there, Martin. This is this is some decent kit. I suspect in due course there'll probably be some requests coming my way, but yeah, once we've got it sorted. Yeah, just wonder, Gareth, what what driver board you're using for that, because it says what's it 1 to 2 watts in for that board to get the power out. So I'm just wondering how you're driving it there. Yeah, 10 litres has been lively. We had lots of QSOs on 10 and FM. It's been going very well. I was round at my uncle, who's also a radio amateur, and he wanted a 10 metre dipole put up because he just moved into a residential home. So I cut a dipole, threw it up, and was testing, put out a couple of calls, and with 100 watts and a dipole about 12 foot off the ground worked Djibouti. So was quite amazed at that. Just trying to find the list. We've had John, so I guess it's probably back round to you there, Gareth, unless John is having a second turn. So G4XAT in the group, GU6EFB.
Right, I think it's thrown to me again. I'm not sure. Anyway, hopefully it is not doubling, so that should be good. Right, thanks there. Yeah, that CNC looks pretty cool, doesn't it? That's the sort of thing you need to definitely make use of to make it worthwhile buying something like that. Way out of my pocket money anyway. Right, a couple of things there just to pick up on. Lip sync, well, mine is just grow a beard, easy. The Moscow 10 meter repeater, I wonder if anyone's got a frequency for that, because that's a new one for me. Retirement, well, I'm supposedly retired. It just hasn't really helped much, to be honest, but anyway, we're officially retired until perhaps I may go back to work again. I don't know. I doubt it. I'm just going to spend the rest of my time going off and doing what travelling I can, etc. So that's that. Dave, volts. I am absolutely petrified of volts. Everything I do is 12 volts. So even when I was playing around with genuine lasers, and I had a couple of TWTs for a while, they all worked off 12 volts. I didn't care what they went to. They started off at 12 volts. That's all I needed to know. If I looked any further than that, I wouldn't play with them. So, all right, thank you, Justin. Yeah, I definitely do not like bolts. I've had too many jobs in the past. In fact, probably the worst one I ever had was a fruit machine in a arcade machine one day. As I put my hand on the thing to pull and put the point in, I must have made a circuit, and it threw me 6 foot across the room. The guy who owned it gave me free goes on all the rides for ages. I was only a little kid at the time, just so I wouldn't tell anybody. So, of course, I took full advantage of that. But anyway, that was that. And with regards to Little and Dave, yeah, there's some numbers, aren't they? I was 139 when I went in, and it dropped down to 9 when I came out. So yeah, definitely in a lot better place now. I'm eating again. And this is the funny thing, is that for the first time in my life, I'm actually being told I have to put weight on. It doesn't compute. I've lost nearly 4 stone in weight, and now I'm being told I've got to put weight back on again. But it's not beer belly fat that I've got to put back on again. It's muscle again. So that was that. And with regards to spending Christmas in hospital, yeah, unfortunately, I think they're talking around about the 8th of December, and we're looking at 20 something odd hours on the operating table. So I'm think they've said somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks recovering. So yeah, it takes them right the way through to January sometime. Which, as long as they keep serving me rice pudding, I don't mind. I discovered that when I was in there. It was quite funny actually, because I couldn't eat very much at the time. I wasn't eating very well. I kind of went for the soft options. I discovered the rice pudding was absolutely beautiful. It was just like homemade stuff, you know, with a little bit of nutmeg in there and everything. So it was just superb. So yeah, that's the only thing I'm looking forward to. And of course, being able to come back out again without the issues I've got now. So anyway, with that, right. I think that's all I've got noted everywhere. Yeah, apologies about the phone calls. It's a daily occurrence with me at the moment. People ring, and it's difficult to get away sometimes. Anyway, with that, round to Gareth, G4XAT in the group G7JTT.
Right, thanks, John. G4XAT. Just to round things off.
Right, thanks, John.
As usual,
G4XAT.
a fascinating net with all sorts of stuff. Hope it goes well, John. And the joys of getting rid of weight and then putting it back on in a different format. We do, or I do anyway, 6 days. We've got a nice thing called a water rower. I won't bore you with it, but it's a rowing machine, but it's not as horrible as some of the greasy chain and fan ones. But 12 minutes on that is three and a bit kilometres, and that seems to work. I did used to do quite a bit of swimming, but my shoulders are ruined. Right, okay, a couple of things. That is one of the NXP MRF 300 development boards, which is resolutely failing to focus. But for your money, you get 2 MRF 300 devices. The PCB, the connectors, the screws. You don't get the inductors. But there's a whole load of ANs on their website, and that one's for 27 meg, probably for industrial medical, but of course that's ruined my train of thought, Malcolm. Yeah, it should be, shouldn't it? Right, okay. Somebody asked, what am I driving that with? Okay, well, I'm lucky enough to have picked up a couple of CA2832. They're actually CATV distribution amps. And that particular one does DC to 200 meg with 35 dB of gain. And on its own, it'll run nearly 3 watts on 10 meters. That doesn't need much drive at all. To be honest, you can get away with the output of Mike's transverter into one of those little eBay 20 dB 5189 type amps, and that'll do the trick pretty much. Right, good evening to David, KD2ZDZ. What we're all talking about is 10 meters with very narrow band DATV. Now, if you register on the BATC forum and then look for recent threads, you'll see some pictures from Rob and myself. But this is my signal, 66 kilo symbols received on the Philadelphia SDR. And Rob has actually used the same method but with a narrower signal. That's M0 DTS. He managed to send a 20 kilo symbol signal which went through strong enough for him to record the IQ and then decode that back here. So us all over here in Europe would be very, very pleased if there was somebody in the States who has DATV reception or interest in it to coordinate all this sort of stuff. Did you? Yeah, well, if you've still got some, and there's a whole family of them, it turns out. Whole family of them. That's the best of the lot, because I've got some that do 70. Sorry, I've got some that do 70 sems, but they don't do lower down, and they haven't got as much gain. But that one, that's what I've worked you on 4 meters, and on 2 meters probably. So if you've got them, grab them. They're unfortunately about 40 quid even on AliExpress. It's a CA2832. It's a little rectangular block with a basically 28 volts in and 50 ohms in and out. Remarkable things. Not really current, but the idea is there. Right, I suppose it's time to wrap things up. Thanks everybody for your being well behaved and making my job a lot easier. Thanks to Justin for recording the stream. I'm not sure what anybody wants to do with that. I've got a feeling it gets published on the BATC YouTube channel, but I guess 1.5 hours of video will take quite a bit of compressing and uploading. Everybody's pictures actually are really quite remarkably good, given our mediocre symbol rate. Something that broadcasters need to learn, perhaps. No, that's an op amp. That's a 3080. I think is the round tin op amp. No, it's not one of them. It's a specific device. Ask me for a picture sometime. Yeah, that's it. That's what it is used for. I bought a couple of VHF pager boards, and that was part of the pre-driver chain. I looked them up and thought, wow, that was worth the money. Okay. Yeah, but it works very well on everything else. Right, okay, Malcolm, yeah. That's one more. I'll just make a note of that. G0UHY PCB. Radio. I think that'll probably see them. Right, okay. Thanks again, everybody. Looks like Justin's going to upload it on his server. That's very good of him. I'd have recorded myself, but my PC is complaining that everywhere is full and I have to keep deleting stuff. Must get round to that. Right, that's it. 7-3s all. Thanks for your input, and we'll see you next week, if not before. And don't forget, activity weekend. I'm around on Saturday. Please try and work me on 70. That's it. Quick bit of test card, and then I'll shut up. 7-3s all. G4X80 closing the BATC Thursday evening net.